Today we're going to be talking about getting medical information that you can trust with Tressa Johnson, Adult Services Librarian at the Bainbridge branch of Kitsap Regional Library. But first, I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathering on the ancestral homeland of the Suquamish people, the people of the clear salt water, who have been living on these shores since time immemorial. And we are grateful for their hospitality and their stewardship. And I'd also like to thank Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island, which offers memory care and independent living. And this month we'll be opening assisted living units on Rolling Bay. To learn more about their programs or schedule a tour, call 360-594-1010. Tressa, thank you as always for coming to give us an update on things we might not know about that are accessible thanks to library services.
Thanks, Reed. I'm always happy to be here. Before I jump in and talk about Medline Plus, I just want to talk a little bit about the tremendous change that we have seen in the information environment over the last 20 years or so. You know, Google with its white search box has really done a job, I think, on and fooled us that, you know, information is easily accessible, that it's free, and it's trustworthy. You know, it's in print, right? It must be trustworthy. So and none of those things are true, right? Google is a commercial venture. Website creators design their websites, their spaces to make money. They are able to put themselves at the top of your results list. So nothing that you see from Google has been regulated for quality or accuracy. And on top of that, not everything is available online. And in fact, most of what is available online is behind a paywall, meaning that you cannot access it without some sort of subscription to that service. So one of the services that the library provides as information specialists is we curate resources for you. We vet these resources so that you can rely on their accuracy, their dependability, their reliability. And Medline is one of the resources that we have vetted. Now, what I'm going to do now is share my screen. I'll show you how to access this resource. We'll talk about it a little bit, and I'll show you some basics about navigating Medline Plus. So, okay, I want to move things around on my screen a little bit. Okay, so we're starting at krl.org, as you can see in the upper left. Now I'm going to come down on the left to browse and then click on browse. And just in the middle, research and learn. This is where the library keeps its list of resources that we have vetted for you. So everything that you find, anything you access under research and learn, we have gone through the process of vetting. Much of these resources, many of these resources are subscription-based. The library has paid for them so that you, with your library card, can access them for free. So under research and learn, we are going to go to health and wellness, about halfway down the screen. I'm going to click there. And here you can see 4 resources that the library has put together for you. Now, you'll notice just to the left of this first resource, coronavirus research database, there's that rectangle, a gray rectangle, and that indicates that you must have your library card in order to, or your library card number rather, in order to access it. And you'll see that Medline Plus does not have that rectangle. It does not require that one be a member of the library in order to access it. And in fact, Medline Plus is it is produced by the National Library of Medicine, which is part of the National Institute for Health. So these are our federal tax dollars at work. Medline Plus acts as a portal bringing together health information from over 1,600 organizations, selected organizations, and they put it together, and it's collected, and the goal is for it to be usable by consumers. In other words, it uses everyday language. The articles that you read on Medline Plus use everyday language. You don't have to wade through scientific jargon that you might have to elsewhere, because it's not geared towards people within the medical profession. It's geared towards us. So let's see. I'm going to click on Medline Plus. And here we are. So as a point of interest, the website is compatible with assistive technology like screen readers. So if you have low vision, you can use a screen reader to access the information. You also see at the top on the right, the website is available in Spanish. So from this homepage, you can get a big picture of the content and the main navigational tools. You can see at the top, we have a vertical menu, so you can access items from there. I'm going to scroll down just a bit. We also have these panels that are available. Within each of these panels, you can search or browse for various topics. And then I'm going to scroll down all the way to the bottom, because I do want to point out that health information is available in multiple languages, and that through this website, you can access Medline Plus magazine. So I want to look at one of the things that Medline Plus has done is, or the National Library of Medicine has done as they have produced this website, is that the pages, as you navigate, you'll see that the pages have a very similar design, which makes it much easier to navigate as someone who is looking for information. So there are only two columns. The column on the left is going to be narrow, or pardon me, the column on the right is going to be very narrow, as you'll see in just a moment. We're going to go to health topics, this first panel in the upper left. I'm going to go ahead and click there. So here is a typical page when you go in. Now you can navigate the information here by these 5 main categories. It's divided information into these 5 main categories. Or you can access, you can search a topic using the alphabet, just right above. So what I would like to do is I'm going to go over here to the right-hand side under demographic groups, and I'm going to click on older adults. Okay, and here, these are all of the topics under older adults, and I'm going to click on older adult health here close to the top. Okay, so you'll see that it opens with basically a table of contents. Just underneath that, there is a general summary to give you an overview of the subject. It might help you figure out where you want to go from here. I'm going to scroll down just a bit. One of the things that makes my librarian heart just sing is that Medline has told us, the user, exactly where each resource comes from. So this article on aging comes from the Mayo Foundation for Medical Education. This guide to geriatric syndromes comes from the American Geriatric Society. So they have right up front told you, when you click here, this is where the information is coming. I also appreciate that you are informed when articles are available in Spanish. Before I go too far down in the page, if you have attended any or watched any of the talks that I've done, you know that I suggest that we look at the entire page before we start clicking, so that we can make informed decisions about where we want to go. And it's very hard, of course, to not click, but I do want to see here on the left-hand side, the medical encyclopedia. The medical encyclopedia provides over 7,000 articles, patient instructions, and medical images. So let's just scroll down a little bit more and we can see what type of articles that we might find here. Oh, and look here on the right, the Medline Plus magazine has some tips for older drivers. That's nice. And as you look at these topics, you can see it's really very broad. So you can play around and explore yourselves from the home page. I'm going to go back up to the top. From the home page, this search box in the upper right, you'll find that at the top of every page of Medline Plus. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how to use that box effectively. You can, as you are accustomed, you can type a word or a phrase. It's not case sensitive, so you don't need to worry about capital letters. Now, often you, well, I'm thinking about if I wanted, when you're researching a topic, let's say you want to research, you want to find out some information about mammograms. That information may be under mammogram. It could be under mammography. You know, there are several different terms, and instead of coming up with all those terms, one trick is to put in the beginning of the word. You can see here are some examples. So what these words have in common is the word mammo. And I'm going to put a wild card, which is the star, and that tells the search engine that I want any words that start with mammo and have letters after them. So now I'm going to click on go. And you can see here some of the terms that have come up in my search: mammogram, mammography, mammograms, mammoplasty, mammoths, which is a bit of a mystery to me, mammographics. So that wild card, the star, can be a very, very helpful tool as you are searching the website. Now, there is another tool, so there are two more tools that I want to mention. If you would like to, a particular word to come up in the search, but you know there's another word that's closely associated with it, you know you don't want. So you want to find out some information about influenza, the flu, but you know it's not, you don't want to know anything about the bird flu. So I'm going to go ahead and type flu, and then the letters, capital letters, N-O-T, not bird. You do have to capitalize N-O-T, but that tells the search engine that I'm not interested in results that have B-I-R-D in them. I'm going to go ahead and click go. So, oh, and there's swine flu, and I'm not interested in swine flu either. So I'm going to go back up to the search box. And I am going to add capital NOTSWINE. Let's see what that does. Okay, so it took a few items away from my results here. And you can see where it tells us the number of results that we have, that instead of the word NOT, they are putting a hyphen right before the word, and that is another option. It works exactly like the word not. I have an easier time remembering the word not for some reason. Okay, and one more very helpful tool for this toolbox. If you wanted to do some research on Tylenol, you would be happy with results that had the word Tylenol in it, and you would be happy with results that had, I'm going to mispronounce this, I'm afraid, acetaminophen. The results don't have to have.
Who knows? I would say acetaminophen, but what do I know?
Acetaminophen. No, I think that sounds correct, actually. Acetaminophen. One of those words in the result would be fine. Both of them would be fine. So what I'm going to do in the search box, I'm going to type Tylenol, and remember that capital letters are not important here. And then the letters OR, capital letters OR. So what this does is this tells the search engine that when it is searching, that it will search for the words Tylenol, it will search for the words, for both words. One or both of them can be in the results. I'm going to go ahead and click on Go. And here we go. One more trick. Now we have 732 results here, which is a lot of reading. You can refine the results. You can narrow down your results by looking at this left-hand column. So these results represent sets of content areas. So you can look at this list and say, well, I'm interested in Medline Plus magazine, or perhaps you're interested in medical tests. And by clicking one of these items, you can narrow down the results considerably. And that can be extremely helpful. Those are some down and dirty navigational tips for this site. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing.
Secrets of the library, or secrets of the librarian.
Right. I don't want them to be secret. I want to share them with everyone. I'm wondering if there are any questions or comments.
I think one of the things that comes up quite a bit is the Mayo Clinic. They have pretty extensive results, but it's kind of nice to know that I can refer to this sort of curated website as an addendum, or maybe as the first place to start, rather than whatever magazine, Smart Health, or livingforevermagazine.com or whatever might publish about diseases or issues.
Exactly. Well, and Google, as a commercial enterprise, as technology changes, so do the strategies of people that are trying to get our money. So sometimes you need to be very careful. Well, I think it is a good idea to be very careful about the spelling. So even if you're looking for Mayo Clinic, you want to make sure that it's MAYO space. You may not want to click on an ad pretty soon AI is going to be, Google is getting ready to have AI responses on the first result page. So, which is why I started by talking about the library and the fact that the library is curating these resources, both behind the paywall, but also those that are like Medline Plus that are available for free, so that you know going in that you can trust the information. And there are on the library website under health and wellness, there are 3 other resources. One of them in particular might be helpful to you, the ProQuest. There's the coronavirus information. There is some information about PTSD, but then there's another resource, a ProQuest resource you can access with your library card, and that may have some information also. But I really like Medline Plus. I think it's easy to use. I like the navigation. I think they've done a very good job. As I said, I love that I can see exactly where the information came from. And I like knowing that my tax dollars are providing this tool too.
Couldn't we print pages off of like Medline Plus? Can we print information?
So I'm not sure how well it would print. It may depend on, it depends on how the page was designed. And that is something I didn't try, Rita, before my presentation. I'm gonna make sure I do that next time.
We have a printer at home, and so, I can try it out and see how it prints out. But I was just curious because, I mean, it's great reading this on here. I'm one of those paper chicks that needs to, make notes and highlight and, do all that stuff. So
I like you. I like interacting with the information. I too write notes. I write notes in pen, and I write notes in pencil, and I have a highlighter. And there are tools. When you go to print, be sure you check the print preview to see if it's actually going to print the information that you want. The other thing you could do, if the formatting is wonky, if you create a Word document, you can highlight the text that you want, and then click to copy. You can copy it and then put it in the Word document, paste it in the Word document.
I have good news.
Oh, wonderful.
I have good news. So there's a little button on here that says print.
Okay.
And it brings it up in a beautiful, non-messy print.
Oh,
Isn't
nice.
That nice?
That is fabulous. I love it.
Thank you.
And this also brings home the point, the importance of being careful when you're looking at a website for the first time, because that is right on the first page. It's right there on every page. I think I remember seeing, you can send an email. Thank you so much, Reed.
You're welcome.